is published in Front Environmental Science Engineering, and Elisha will introduce this paper. Elisha, please.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Today's paper is quite short, so I think the seminar will end quite early. So first we go to abstract. The boosting development of AI is contributing to rapid exponential surge of computing power demand, which results in the concerns on the increased energy consumption and carbon emission. To highlight the environmental impacts of AI, a quantified analysis on the carbon emission associated with AI systems were conducted in this study. So the results of the carbon emissions from 79 prominent AI systems released between 2020 and 2024 were quantified, and the projected total carbon footprint from the AI systems in the top 20 of carbon emissions could reach up to 102.6 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. This could potentially have a substantial impact on the environmental market, exceeding $10 billion annually, especially considering the potential carbon penalties in the near future. Moving on to the introduction, nowadays AI is leading a new industrial revolution and upending the traditional research paradigm of academia. As more people are being tempted by AI's role in boosting economic development and fundamental discoveries, continuous efforts has been devoted to exploiting and optimizing AI systems globally. In the past few OSEAN weekly seminars, we have been constantly presenting on the use of AI for marine debris monitoring, for labeling, for LLM development, and the use of AI in detecting marine debris on surface water, etc. This is because there is a big demand for AI in marine and plastic pollution research, not just in Korea, but also globally. So if you see the figure S1, since 2015, there has been a 5.6-fold increase in AI research publications compared to the number of studies in the past decades. The increase in AI studies is related to the training, compute, and release of AI systems since 2010. So as you can observe, post-2015, more and more AI systems training have been carried out, leading to more publication of AI-related studies. The scale of training compute since 2015 shows an exponential growth trend dominated mostly by the industry and academia. And if you see figure 1 on the right, you can see that the training can reach up to 100 giga. And you can see the different colors. It's also a combination between different industries and so forth. However, it should be pointed out that the growing scale of training compute is in turn accompanied by continuous enlargement and iterations of related AI models. For example, GPT-3 model as the prevalent LLM is reported to have 175 billion parameters, while the parameters for the next model of GPT-4 was around 1.8 trillion. For those who are unsure what parameters are, they are what determines how an AI model can process textual information called tokens. Sometimes they are compared to neurons in the brain because they are said to interpret information and determine how to respond. Based on the data on parameters alone, for between 2010 to 2024, the number of parameter and data training sets are mostly concentrated between millions to trillions. As a result, the energy consumption and carbon emission to satisfy AI compute demand inevitably increases significantly. Even used for socially good purposes, there is a need to pay attention to the environmental impacts of AI. So the aim of this study was to provide a quantified analysis on the carbon emission associated with AI systems. The authors used a very simple method of calculation to generate the estimates of carbon emissions from AI systems. To get the estimated carbon emissions, they multiplied the carbon intensity of electricity production, which was set to be 0.95 kilograms CO2, with the electricity consumption in a single training set. To calculate the electricity consumption of the training models, they evaluated this based on the machine learning carbon dioxide impact calculator published by Lacoste et al. Here, the electricity consumption is calculated by the multiplication of hardware quantity, total training time, and the thermal design power. The total training time, or GPU usage hours, can be estimated by the training compute demand and the computing power that the hardware utilizes in the AI systems. So in other words, the computing demand, C, represents the total training compute of the AI system in a single run, whereas the computing power that the hardware utilizes is based on the hardware quantity, peak computing power, and the utilization rate of the GPU system. In their results, authors took energy required for a single training run as an example, and the top 20 AI systems in terms of carbon emission published during 2021 to 2024 were investigated. It was found that the total energy consumption per training run stands at 108 billion kilowatts per hour, indicating a carbon emission of 102,621 carbon dioxide emission. There were noticeable disparities in energy consumption across various models, as shown in Figure 2. For instance, Germany Ultra, published by Google in 2023, tops the selected 20 AI systems, which require 37,620 carbon dioxide emission of carbon dioxide in a single training run. This accounts for 36.7% of the overall carbon emission of the selected AI systems since 2021. With the current rapid development of the AI industry, the emergence and iteration of large models will significantly increase the overall carbon emissions. For example, the carbon emission of GPT-4 has surged to 21,660 T of carbon dioxide, representing a 12-fold increase in carbon emissions compared to its pre-iteration model of GPT 3.5. And then a similar growing trend can be also witnessed between Palm and Palm 2 developed by Google. After the release of AI systems, the compute load brought by daily inference use is more obvious with the increasing demand of AI service. The difference in compute load could range from tens to hundreds of times. For example, the energy consumption for the inference of GPT-3 was estimated to be 160 times higher yearly than of the training process in 2023. However, it should also be noted that the demand of AI services is continuously booming over time. Based on the data of monthly visitors of ChatGPT, there were 6 times more visitors in 2024 compared to 2023, indicating a 6-fold growth in AI inference demand. Consequently, taking the growth of AI service demand into account, the carbon emission of AI systems in the whole training and use processes could be estimated as roughly about 960 times of that in a single training run in 2024. The carbon emission associated with AI use can be calculated up to about 102.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. By comparison, the capita carbon dioxide emission around the world are reported as 4.7 of carbon emissions, meaning that the carbon emission from AI systems training emit as much as 12.8 million people in a year. On a global scale, this amount also surpasses the annual carbon emissions of over 137 countries worldwide in 2022, such as North Korea, Ireland, and Norway. The corresponding energy demand also reached 108 tetrawatts per hour, which is comparable to the annual primary energy consumption of some small and medium-sized countries such as Iceland, North Korea, and Ireland. The power demand surge of AI operations may become a new concern against the backdrop of the energy crisis, and its carbon emissions will also raise economic and social justice concerns. As carbon trading scheme has been gradually implemented worldwide, a high carbon price of $109 per ton carbon emissions has been projected by 2023. For the purpose of illustration, if a carbon penalty were applied in the future, the cost from just the top 20 AI systems in terms of carbon emission will increase to a total of $10 billion per year. As an outlook, AI is one of the most disruptive technologies of our time, and its thriving development has brought revolutionary changes in both academia and industry. It has been reported that the demand for AI service is expected to increase by 30% to 40% annually over the next 5 to 10 years. This will trigger continuous iterations of AI models and result in the exponential surge in computing power, noticeable energy consumption, and unavoidable carbon emissions. With the advancement of global sustainable energy, the impact of changes in the energy structure of AI carbon emissions cannot be overlooked. Moving forward, to achieve net zero emissions worldwide, the quantified carbon emission of AI is no exemption for further setup of emission caps for policymakers. So that is the paper. And then I found 2 additional readings. The first one is measuring and improving the energy efficiency of LLM interference, where the authors present an approach to profile the energy consumption of LLMs during interference and leverage it to improve energy efficiency. And then the second one is a report called The Cloud and the Climate, Navigating AI-Powered Futures, which offers an interdisciplinary examination of the current state of AI and the cloud in relation to climate change. It draws on contributions from across the sustainable software community. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. It's kind of interesting article, and I think we should think about this. This carbon emission from using of AI. And we will have discuss time from now on. If you have any questions and opinions, please feel free to talk about it and share it with us. Heju?
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Alicia, for bringing this topic into our seminar. Sorry. Yeah. And thank you for summarizing the article very well and introducing the additional documents. I knew that this AI's environmental impacts are large, but looking at this article, it also highlights how it's so important. And including myself, we've been using AI more frequently in our work or like any other stuff for our daily life. And then I've also found myself relying on it. However, I believe it's really crucial to use AI responsibly, only as much as necessary, while maintaining a strong sense of environmental accountability. And then maybe I will just I would like to introduce one information as well about the one article I read a few days ago. So there's this artificial general intelligence called AGI, which refers to AI capable of performing as well as humans across all cognitive tasks. And the article I read projected that AGI will advance exponentially, and then algorithm improvements have no hard limit, which meaning that it will place a massive burden on the environment in the few years. And even without reaching this AGI, tech companies like such as Google are already struggling to meet their 2030 carbon neutrality goal, partly because of the environmental demands of AI technology. So that's why discussions like this today in our seminar are so important. Yeah, it was
Thank you,
my
Hezu.
opinion
Mhm.
and some
I agree with it, and I heard from news, and in the USA they use a lot of AI technique company, and the Google, Microsoft, as you know, OpenAI, and anyway, they are showing off their energy, and I think in near future they have to build the nuclear power plant or other power plant. So we talk about the AI and we should learn and use a lot about it, but sometimes we forget about the energy consumption and carbon emissions. So in the near future, we have to make some policy. But I think it's kind of very difficult job in any country. So like a climate change issue. What should we do? Do you have any opinions about it? It seems like plastic pollution in terms of difficult task in we are coping with the kind of issues, these kind of issues.
Yeah, maybe as Ellie also introduced, we have to invest more about the energy efficient technologies, and then also collaborate some, also make more industry standards to work together to establish sustainability standards, including transparency and it's a bit how can I say, ironic to say this, but I saw some people, there are some efforts about improving AI for environmental solutions. So use AI to to raise the environmental, I mean efficiency for the environmental sustainability. And I think the most important thing is anyway to make the policy and regulation for this AI impacts on the environmental sustainability. Also, we need to promote responsible AI use.
Thank you for the opinion. And anyone else has other opinions or questions about it?
Define a server concept. Limit server to use AI.
The question is, we need a server to use AI.
We need some.
In our system, no, we use the ChatGPT, other things. If we register it, but big companies are not big server to maintain the service.
Yeah, that's I think one thing that when I was reading this paper, I was curious because I'm not really sure about AI, but I think that for companies to that produce AI, I think they will need a lot of servers. And to use these servers, they might need a lot of coolants and waters, which will also raise concerns about water, like where's the water coming from? Will it also be a concern like carbon emissions, water, air quality, and where do they place these servers becomes a whole new environmental justice topic. So I think more research should be done on this.
I'm not sure it's server or cheap equipment, but I heard they immerse that thing in the cold water in Alaska. It's like a cooling system for the big tech company in the USA. And it was shocking in this paper, as Alicia mentioned, the carbon emission suppressed some countries' emission. Over 137 countries. So this technology will escalate the wealth versus poor country, like that. Wealth society and poor society. Yeah.
Any other comment?
Any other comments or questions? Trang, do you have any questions or comments?
Sorry, I think I missed a little bit some slide. But I wonder if any user in the study they mentioned the user AI system, anything related to carbon emission associated with user, like because here it's more in the server and the who are generate to the AI system.
So instead of users, they talk more about the developers who made it. So if you see figure 1 here, also our building is having the fire testing thing, the alarm system. So sorry for the sound. And then so for figure 1 here, if you see, mostly is from industry, and then second is academia industry, and third is from academia. So these are the stakeholders that are using it the most, that are developing it the most, but they didn't really mention about who are the users. But they did, this paper did give references to where you can see all this data.
Okay, thank you. It's a very nice paper in earlier year because we use AI currently now in office and in everywhere. Yeah,
Thank you
more
for your
responsible.
opinion.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we will have a greeting time. And Yening, Indigo Warriors. And Yurung is here, and Miss Chu and Whitney from Tangaroa Blue. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year. And I think we talk about it enough today, so we will wrap up this seminar, and we will have APML meeting in 11:30. Please stay tuned in this channel.
Okay.
if you are AP members. And Happy New Year again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Great.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.